guys, it's Volleybon here, and I have a different kind of video. Usually I do fragrance videos and I will continue to do so. However, today I want to bring to you a video that I think is so important. So recently I've been on the job hunt and I was able to go throughout the process with the company and everything was virtual. From the first moment I submitted the application, of course, like most places now, the application was sent online, so it started there. But then, the original phone screen was, of course, on a phone. Then we went to quite a few video interviews as well. And I was able to land an offer, and the entire thing, for the first time in my life, nothing was in person. It was all virtual. And a little bit of this had to deal with the current climate, but this was happening. I've been in this process before. It was even in the process of we had to not be, have the social distancing thing. So I was able to do this entire process virtual. And I want to give you guys some tips because clearly what I was doing really worked. I've been able to land quite a few interviews just throughout a phone screen. And once you get to the video interview, it's kind of like they really like you. Most places don't start with the video interview. So they really like you at this point. They're just looking to evaluate you a little bit more and more so see if you are going to be a great fit with the team. So I want to give you some tips that I think can either help yourself, or if you know someone that is on the job hunt right now, it may really help them. If not now, then in the future, because I think as the world grows, it's just really going to make sense. And this opportunity right now has showed us that so many things can be virtual, which then it saves us. We're more efficient. It saves us resources as far as driving and gas and those kind of things. So let's get into the tips. The first tip I want to give you is that I've actually experienced this quite a few times. You'll assume that it's on one platform, but it may be on something else. So usually when they reach out to you and they want to confirm a time to where you guys can do the video interview, they'll send the details. Make sure that you go through that email that has all the details of how you guys are going to communicate, and more importantly, figure out which platform. Okay, there's quite a few. The most popular ones that I've used, and there may be some more. Obviously there's going to be some more, but there's Skype, of course. You're very familiar with that one. Zoom is a really big one, and then also Google Hangouts. Those are the top three that I've been invited to. So make sure beforehand, if you have an interview at 10, don't get on there at 10, or don't even get on there at 9:55 and try to download it, because you don't know how fast your internet's going, especially now. I've been hearing that there's lower speeds. Try to do it the night before, if they give you that much time, or at least the morning. Give yourself at least an hour, half an hour at the minimum amount of time to download the app and try it out. And sometimes you actually have to create an account. So I would definitely urge you guys to do that first and foremost. Make sure that you have the app downloaded, and you know the platform. And sometimes there's a number that you actually have to call in. So make sure that you're able to identify in the email what number you have to call in and be able to connect with them. I've even noticed on some platforms there's two different versions. So that's a good thing to notice too. If it's the personal version that they're calling from, or if it's the business version. So the personal version, you have to have your own account and maybe like your own membership. Sometimes you even have to pay. Some places charge like $1 a minute or something like that. All these things you want to know beforehand, because if it doesn't work out for you, you want to be able to let them know so then you guys can try something else. Some other platforms are going to be business platforms, so you just have to put your name, first name and last name, and then it'll send you to the video conference. Okay, so make sure you do that beforehand, because you don't want to push it to the last minute. It's really not a good look if you're showing up late, even if it's virtual. It's not late. It's not a good, it is still late. It's not a good idea to show up late in any regard, and especially even if it's virtual, okay? Just because it's not in person doesn't mean that tardiness is excused. And especially if this role that you're applying for really revolves around content management or IT or being online or those kind of things, that revolves around technology a little bit more, it's going to be even more pertinent that you have these things figured out and you have the answers and you're able to navigate, and maybe even suggest, it might be a way to suggest like, hey, this is a really good platform, but I know that in this business we use X, Y, and Z platform, and it's even better because of You could look like a know-it-all, but you could just seem like a know-it-all and someone that they want to add to the team, okay? So the next one that we have is going to be, okay, after you have downloaded the platform, after you have downloaded this app or whatever platform it's going to be housed on. This is another reason why you really have to take a little bit of time, get there early. You want to test it out. See if maybe you can call a friend through it. If you have a friend call you, make sure that it's actually working. Make sure that your internet's working. Make sure that if you're doing off your data, your data's fast enough, or because if not, then maybe you need to find some Wi-Fi, stop somewhere really quick. I don't know. But make sure that the call is actually working. Make sure that they can hear you. Make sure, for some reason, if the mic on your phone isn't working, then maybe you could transfer it to your laptop and they'll be able to hear you and see you even better, okay? So this drives home another thing about you guys have to get there early to be able to test drive all these things. A lot of times apps, most of the time it'll prompt you to have you change your security settings, but that also takes time, and I don't know if every phone actually just brings it up automatically to have you change your security settings to allow that app to access your microphone, to access your camera, to do X, Y, and Z. I don't know if it's sometimes they may need you to access your location for some reason. But all of those things are going to be very important in order to really nail the video interview, okay? Now, the third thing that I think is so important whenever you're doing an interview via video is to make sure that you clear out the background, okay? This is not a good example. This isn't the worst example, but make sure that you clear out the background. Get there, and you don't even have to use the platform beforehand. Just use the normal video on your phone, on your laptop, on your tablet, whatever you're using to conduct the interview. Make sure that you test it beforehand on the actual camera to see what is in the background. What can they see? Is there like trash in the background that probably doesn't look super professional? A purse, shoes, slides, you probably want to remove those. Anything that's really distracting, probably you want to remove anything really sparkly, unless this is a creative field. You just want it to look really plain and stark so they're not like looking in the background while they're talking to you and distracted from what you're saying. This whole thing is about them listening to what you're saying, key points, and figuring out, and they're going to probably be writing down stuff. You want them to write down things about what you're saying and not how you look, not in the background, of course, unless this is a creative role that revolves around how you look and how the background is. But not too many roles really rely on your looks or the background, even if it's modeling and interior design. It's probably going to be some more to that. So make sure that it's a very clean, bleak background. If you have to even put up, I know it's going to sound not the best, but try to put up, if you can, like a blocker or something like that. Sometimes I take a portable, what is it called? Like the closet, the hanger things, like the rods, the ones that you can actually wheel around, and then just like put some black fabric on it, so then it just looks like you're, just on a black background. That's an option to do that as well. Or you could turn the camera and just face one of those blank walls, okay? But this only works as I move to the next step. This is the fourth step. Make sure that there's great lighting. This seems like it's just common sense, or it doesn't seem like it's super important, but you have to make sure that there's really great lighting, okay? There has to be great lighting because you want them to be able to see you, to see how you're feeling, your facial expressions. What are you thinking? Because this whole thing, while they're doing a video interview, is because they want to see if you're going to fit with the group, if you're going to fit with the team. So if they can't see you, they can't see what you're thinking, can't see that you're smiling, they can hear it still, if the room is too dark, but they have to be able to see you, okay? So make sure that you can either use lighting, as far as like if you have a ring light, if you have lamps. Sometimes you can increase the lighting with the lamps by just removing the shade, and then the light will disperse even more. Open up the windows if you can. Well, not so much to where it lets in excess noise, because you definitely don't want to have any excess noise. If you got someone over at the time, please tell them to be quiet. I know it sucks if you have kids and they won't be quiet, but just maybe try to give them a movie to watch or in the other room, or a game to preoccupy themselves. But make sure that you have really good lighting, and moving on to the fifth one, really quiet sound as well. Okay, you want them, these go hand in hand. You really want to make yourself seem more professional and like you have everything together and you have all the answers, but having a nice, well lit room so where they can see you, And again, you want them to focus on your words. So make sure that you don't have any distractions. Like, even if you have a movie going, make sure that's far enough to where they don't hear the movie going, no extra music. If it's not on your phone that you're recording, make sure that you have your phone on silent. These seem basic, but it really makes the difference when it comes down if it's between yourself and another very great candidate. Okay. Now, the last thing is to make sure that you are showing expression. Okay. Don't be hunched over. Don't do this. Don't do that type of deal. Sit up straight. Okay. Just like if you're on the job, sit up straight. Make sure that you're using your hands to talk. You want to make sure that you look like you're professional, like you're engaged, you have bright eyes, you have a smile. You're mimicking, kind of, not like mocking, but mimicking their movements. If, that makes people think that you're a little bit in agreement with them. It's an old school trick, but make sure you're doing all those things to ensure that they can see that you're the best candidate. And I think all those things together, of course, you got to do your research and you have to be suitable for the position and really study on. And that may be another video of how to study and to really make them believe that you're a great fit with the company. But those are my tips for now. And if you have any additional tips of how to really nail a video interview, drop them below and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.